Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy last day of school. So exciting. All right, if you're here, go ahead, say hello. Tell me how you're doing this morning. I'm going to go grab the link and put it in all the places so that people who want to come can do so. Great. So how's everyone doing today? Are we excited for the last day of school? Are we feeling weird about it? Man, I can't type and talk at the same time. Messes with my brain a little bit. Morning, Jacqueline. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Gunica. Hey, Cindy. Good morning, everyone. How are you all feeling about the last day of school? At this point, I'm sort of feeling medium about it. I don't know. I'm pretty ambivalent. I am excited to have a little bit more freedom for my time. Not quite have so many things that I need to do every day. I do have some exciting stuff going on over the summer, as long as everything holds up, and scoring some of the AP literature essays, working for College Board. And that's exciting. Yeah, there's the part of it that feels weird. Even just as simple as I've been getting on here on YouTube Live at 8 a.m. every morning. And that's gonna stop, and that's a little weird. Yeah, Jacqueline, it's definitely the whole last day of school thing, when we really haven't been at school every day, is a little weird. Morning, Alicia. Hey, Mom. Oh, Gunica, you're a little happy because you'll be able to accomplish more. I'm curious, what sort of things are you hoping to accomplish this summer? Oh, Valerie, you got your drumline placement. Yes, that is awesome. Are you happy with your placement? Are you excited about it? I'm excited for you. That sounds awesome. Yes, Alicia, right now, well, not right now. One of the nice things about a typical finals week is we actually don't start right at 8 a.m. We would all be waking up and getting ready to go to school to finish up our last two finals. But instead, we're done with finals. I actually think that that's sort of nice. At this point, I would be frantically trying to finish grading the finals that people had already taken, and I would be worried about whether or not I was going to be able to grade 6th and 7th period finals in such a short period of time. And now I don't have that worry. That's good. Gunica, just finishing your summer courses. Awesome. Gunica, what else are you taking other than math? Morning, Mrs. Garcia. Valerie, you made it on the drum line, even though 75 people auditioned for percussion. That is amazing. Congrats, Valerie. That's really cool. Oh, Unica, you're going to take English language and composition at Delta. Awesome. That'll be a tough one. I took probably an equivalent type summer course. And I'll tell you, those English courses over the summer are hard. You have to do all of that reading and writing in like whatever it is, 6 to 10 weeks, depending on how long your course is. So good luck. I hope that you enjoy it. Hope it goes well for you. Sorry, I just got to finish putting the link in Canvas. And then we'll be done. And it'll be time. I'm excited. We have a really good poem today. And a good book. We got lots of good going on. So Mom, today we are doing senior celebration. It's going to be a lot like Be the Light. The seniors will get a chance to drive through the campus. Teachers will be there with our signs and our positive attitudes and our celebratory spirit to celebrate their last day of high school today. And then, yes, the plan right now is graduation in the fall. I believe they voted on August, but we don't have any other details about it yet. All right. So I think it's time for us to get started on our poem for the day. All right. Morning, Danielle. Happy to have you here. Mom, I don't know if seniors are wearing their cap and gowns today. Valerie, Danielle, you're in here. First, are you going? I hope so. That would be such a bummer if you weren't going to be there. But are you guys going to wear your caps and gowns? I would assume so. I would assume that they can choose whether they want to or not. At like the parade on Monday, I saw lots of seniors out there in their cap and gown. Danielle, you are going to wear yours. Awesome. As teachers, we were told not to wear our gowns or our regalia. Valerie, you're wearing yours too. Yeah, so I have a feeling a lot of students will then. We were told not to wear all of our stuff because it's not real graduation yet, and we want to save that. Also, though, most of the teachers don't have like the gowns. We might have people like Dr. Forrest or Dr. Marquette have like their doctor hats. And some people have like fancy stoles and cords from their master's degrees. But a lot of people have to borrow those gowns from the teachers, and that would just be a lot more contact with other people than we need to have. So we're not doing that part. But I have some signs. I have my Mustang gear. I think it'll still be a lot of fun. Shoot, I don't know if I'm spoiling this or not. Danielle, probably won't matter to you because you didn't go to the elementary schools in the district, but I'll give you a spoiler. Some of the elementary teachers are going to be there to celebrate as well. So it really is going to be a big celebration, and I am super excited about it. All right, so we'll get into our poem for today. I don't know, I tried to get a special poem and a special book for today's book talk, and we were just talking about Emily Dickinson last night at our trivia, and I just thought that this poem is a really nice one to sort of end the school year with. So it's called "There Is No Frigate Like a Book," and that word's a little weird, but just for those of you who do not know, a frigate is like a ship, like a traveling big ship. So, there is no frigate like a book to take us lands away, nor any coursers like a page of prancing poetry. This traverse may the poorest take, without a press of toll. How frugal is the chariot that bears the human soul. And I just love that poem. I think it speaks beautifully about the power of reading and of books, of novels and of poetry, and of all of those things that we use to take us away, to use as an escape. And I think that's one of the coolest things about reading, is that it really can take us away from where we are right now, whether it's like an escapist fun novel, or if it is like a nonfiction that sort of takes us out of our understanding of the world and helps us learn something new. I just think that literature has such a grand power, and I'm hoping that you all are able to take advantage of that power right now. I know I have struggled with just sort of getting a focus and keeping my attention in one place for long periods of time during all of the pandemic and quarantine and just all of it. And but I know that when I can get into it, it is such a joy and a escape. So I hope that even without daily book talks from me, that you all are finding books that you love over the summer and find some really great things to read. And of course, I mean, all of these are now up on YouTube for forever. So you're welcome to always go back to these videos to hear me talk about books. If there's one that you were interested in and maybe forgot a little bit about. And of course, my email never changes. It always stays the same. So if you have questions about books over the summer, let me know. Granted, I will not check it as frequently over the summer as I do during the school year. But you're welcome to email me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right. So, speaking of those beautiful books, we are going to talk about one more. And this is the one that I have been reading through, I don't know, a chunk of this time. I think I probably only started reading it in April. I started reading it whenever I finished the summer book. I don't remember when that was. It was more than before yesterday, and that's about where my memory stops at this point. But it is The Maze Runner by James Dashner. And I thought this one was a fun book talk because actually it is a book that students have been recommending to me for years. I mean, students have been telling me for years and years that, like, this is such a good book. Every time I talk about something like The Hunger Games or Divergent, somebody always tells me you have to read The Maze Runner. Every year, several students do it for their book talks. Yeah, Danielle, everyone tells me, like, I loved that book in middle school or in elementary school, whenever you guys read it. And I finally picked it up. Part of the reason why I never really have is because even though I have it in my classroom library, it is always out. Somebody is always reading this book. So even though a lot of you have already read it, your classmates haven't all already read it. So they hear you talk about it, they want to read it too. So I picked it up. And actually, while I was I don't have it near me. When I was in the classroom day before yesterday, I picked up the whole rest of the series. So I'm going to be good for my summer reading. So let's just keep going. Let me tell you about the book, because clearly not all of us have read it. There are those of us out here who have not. So it all starts when the main character, Thomas, finds himself in like this weird elevator situation with no memories. And he gets taken into this place called the Glade. And the only people who live in the Glade are these like teenage and preteen boys. And they tell him that they live in this homestead that's surrounded by this maze. And they're just trying to get out. All of these boys showed up in the same way, in this sort of like elevator thing in the middle of their homestead, with all of their memories wiped. So they really only remember what their experience has been in this maze. But they know that there was something before that, and they want to get out and get back to it. And so everyone has a job. They keep their life running. And then there are some of the boys whose job is to run the maze and try to find a way out. And it's complicated because the walls change every night. So the boys who are the runners are not only physically very strong because they spend pretty much all day running, they also have to be mentally tough to keep track of the changes happening within the maze. And so Thomas's journey starts out odd. He gets this really strong feeling that he is supposed to be a runner, and he wants to just jump in and do that job, and is told that that's just not the way they do it in the Glade, and that there's a procedure, right? There's a system, there's order here. And he is sort of okay with that. But then his day is further complicated by the fact that one of the boys feels like he recognizes Thomas and says, I know who you are, and essentially, you're bad, right? You're bad news. And that really puts Thomas on edge on his first day. But even on that first day, he finds this other kid who's going to sort of help him get used to his new life. And they form a strong bond, a really strong friendship. And so Thomas thinks that he's going to be able to find a way in this new place, and he's going to be a productive member of this society. He's going to help them find their way out, right? Find their way through the maze. But his journey continues to be more and more complicated. Only his second day, he's learning about the order of the place, that the box that he came out of, the elevator thing, that they are given supplies every week, once a week, like clockwork. Every month, once a month, a new person comes. So Thomas had just gotten there. And everything changes, not just for Thomas, but for this whole society, when only the day after he arrives at the Glade, somebody else is brought in and their whole system goes into shock. Um, and so it's just a really fast-paced, exciting book about trying to find the way out. Trying to find the way out while keeping order, while maintaining a sense of society and order within that society. Um, and how do people continue striving and working and surviving when both in the middle of a personal and a societal upheaval? And I found that theme so interesting right now, as so many of us are going through our own personal upheavals in the middle of a societal upheaval. But of course, even though those themes are so serious, the book itself is so fun. It's fast-paced, it's fast-moving, and it is a series. It looks like there are 4 books in the series. I've officially only finished this first one. I only finished it last night, but I do have the rest of the series here, and I finished the first one. It ended with a great twist and cliffhanger, which is absolutely the way that you want to finish a book in a series, because now I'm excited to read the next one. So if you like dystopian books, you would really like this one. I'll go ahead and read a little bit from the very beginning. All right. He began his new life standing up, surrounded by cold darkness and stale, dusty air. Metal ground against metal. A lurching shudder shook the floor beneath him. He fell down at the sudden movement and shuffled backward on his hands and feet, drops of sweat beating on his forehead despite the cool air. His back struck a hard metal wall. He slid along it until he hit the corner of the room. Sinking to the floor, he pulled his legs up tight against his body, hoping his eyes would soon adjust to the darkness. With another jolt, the room jerked upward, like an old lift in a mine shaft. Harsh sounds of chains and pulleys, like the workings of an ancient steel factory, echoed through the room, bouncing off the walls with a hollow, tinny whine. The lightless elevator swayed back and forth as it ascended, turning the boy's stomach sour with nausea. A smell like burnt oil invaded his senses, making him feel worse. He wanted to cry, but no tears came. He could only sit there, alone, waiting. My name is Thomas, he thought. That was the only thing he could remember about his life. He didn't understand how this could be possible. His mind functioned without flaw, trying to calculate his surroundings and predicament. Knowledge flooded his thoughts, facts and images, memories and details of the world and how it works. He pictured snow on trees, running down a leaf-strewn road, eating a hamburger, the moon casting a pale glow on a grassy, busy city squibble bus. And yet, he didn't know where he came from, or how he'd gotten inside the dark lift, or who his parents were. He didn't even know his last name. Images of people flashed across his mind, and there was no recognition, their faces replaced with haunted smears of color. He couldn't think of one person he knew or recall a single conversation. The room continued its ascent, swaying. Thomas grew immune to the ceaseless rattling of the chains that pulled him upward. A long time passed. Minutes stretched into hours, although it was impossible to know for sure because every second seemed an eternity. No, he was smarter than that. Trusting his instincts, he knew he'd been moving for roughly half an hour. Strangely enough, he felt his ear whisked away like a swarm of gnats caught in the wind. He felt his fear whisked away like a swarm of gnats caught in the wind, replaced by an intense curiosity. He wanted to know where he was and what was happening. With a groan and then a clunk, the rising room halted. The sudden change jolted Thomas from his huddled position and threw him across the hard floor. As he scrambled to his feet, he felt the room sway less and less until it finally stilled. Everything fell silent. A minute passed. 2. He looked in every direction but saw only darkness. He felt along the walls again, searching for a way out. But there was nothing. Only the cool metal. He groaned in frustration. His echo amplified through the air, like the haunted moan of death. It faded, and silence returned. He screamed, called for help, pounded on the walls with his fists. Nothing. Thomas backed into the corner once again, folded his arms and shivered, and the fear returned. He felt a worrying shudder in his chest, as if his heart wanted to escape, to flee his body. "Someone help me!" he screamed. Each word ripped his throat raw. A loud clank rang out above him, and he sucked in a startled breath as he looked up. A straight line of light appeared across the ceiling of the room, and Thomas watched it as it expanded. A heavy grating sound revealed double sliding doors being forced open. After so long in darkness, the light stabbed his eyes. He looked away, covering his face with both hands. He heard noises above, voices, and fear squeezed his chest. "Look at that Shank. How old is he? Looks like Clunk in a t-shirt. You're the Clunk, Shuckface. Dude, it smells like feet down there. Hope you enjoyed the one-way trip, Greenie. Ain't no ticket back, bro." Thomas was hit with a wave of confusion blistered with panic. The voices were odd, tinged with echo. Some of the words were completely foreign, others felt familiar. He willed his eyes to adjust as he squinted down the light and those speaking. At first, he could only see shifting shadows, but they soon turned into the shapes of bodies. People bending over the hole in the ceiling, looking down at him, pointing. All right, I'll leave it there. So that's the very beginning of the book, the moment that Thomas is sort of thrust into this new life, with no memory of where he came from, no idea where he is, and no idea why he's there. So it's a really fun, exciting book. If you haven't read it, if you're like me and you sort of waited, I really recommend it. I think it is a fun book. Definitely worth a read or a listen on an audiobook if that's what you have instead. Because it really is. It's just fun, exciting, fast-paced. So there you go. That is my last book talk of the school year. All right, I know we're sort of at time. So if you have any last thoughts, questions, something else you want to chat about, let me know in the chat box. Just a reminder, we do still have a Google Meet today, our last one of the school year. I know everything today is the last of the school year, but I'm going to keep saying it anyway. Today's will be a little different than the other ones of this week. We'll do the first half hour, sort of the same way that we've been doing them. I'll put on some chill music. We will hang out, color or read or work on your math homework or whatever else we got going on. And then the second half, starting at 2:00, we'll do a little bit of a more formal goodbye situation. Yeah. Yeah, Mom, it's definitely going to be weird for you not to see yesterday. Oh, Danielle, I'm going to miss your first period of class so much too. Today's the day where we're going to celebrate you all. Not just at the celebration of seniors tonight, but But in that Google Meet at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a mini celebration. Oh, Jacqueline, your brother got the Presidential Award for Academic Excellence. That's amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome. Oh, good. Okay, you're welcome. I hope that these YouTube lives have been as fun for you all as they've been for me to do. It's nice to get to chat in the morning and to share poetry and books together, and talk about all the silly things that we've talked about, the Disney princesses and music and Hogwarts houses and all of that good stuff. I am excited for this afternoon. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to read a picture book that I love. It is the first time I heard it, I knew it was going to instantly be one of my favorites. And I just think it's such a lovely message for endings. For our seniors, the ending of high school, but even for our sophomores, the ending of the school year. So we'll do that today in the Google Meet. We'll celebrate my first period AP Lit class. Danielle and Valerie, you're going to have to make sure that you text all your friends in class and tell them to show up. Because I want to celebrate you all. I think I have been incredibly impressed, especially by our seniors who have taken this very big, unexpected change to how you expected your senior year to go, and have really just taken it in stride and made the best out of a really bad situation and really persevered. And I'm just so proud to know you all. Oh, Jacqueline, I'm so glad that these have brightened your mornings. Danielle, I don't know if you know this. I distinctly remember when I met you. We were out in the quad at sort of like the very beginning of the school year. All of the teachers out there and all of the students. And I remember meeting you and hearing that it was your first year with us, and introducing you to some fellow seniors. And yeah, so even Danielle, students like you who I just met this year versus some of my seniors I've known since they were sophomores, like Valerie, some even I taught as freshmen. And I just hope you all know that I remember those things, and I think it just makes it all so special. I don't want to get too gushy here. Yeah, Mom, you are absolutely right. I do have wonderful students. We got great kids here at Mountain House High School. Oh, you're welcome, Alicia. I always said that even if only one student came to these YouTube lives, if only one student came to that Google Meet, that I would keep doing it every day. Because if it was helping one of you, it was worth it. And I'm glad that we've had a small but mighty group this whole time. And I'm glad to do it. So we're a little bit over time. I will quit gushing. I'll wrap it up because I will see you all again at the Google Meet today. So starting technically 1:30 we'll do our sort of more hangout chill time. And at 2 o'clock we will start my more formal goodbye. So I hope you all can make it. I would really love to see you all there. And then seniors, I will see you again tonight to celebrate you and all of your accomplishments. All right. So with that, for the last time for the school year, always remember who you are, what you represent, and to share your Mustang pride. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Make good choices over the summer. See you later.